Hey guys, it's Skip from French Lake Auto Parts. We're up in Virginia, Minnesota. Found a cool car that purchasing from the original owner. We'll get him to open the door here so you guys can see what it is. What we found through a friend by the name of Steve Paulus is a 68 Chev SS 427, and it's from the original owner, Connan Johnson. Hi, Connan.
Hi.
It's a 69,000 mile car. Connan ordered it with some rare options, and that's 4-speed tilt, buckets, AM/FM 8-track, power steering, 12-bolt posi. It's just a fine example of a car that got taken care of and kept in a shed instead of letting it sit outside and rot. SS hood, which is really weird. The deal is too, it's a custom coupe, not a sport coupe. So it's a 385 horse, which Connan said he did go to the dealership that day anticipating to order a 4 1/4 horse, and the dealer talked him out of it. Told him to go with the 385 horse since he is going to be a family man, and it'd make more sense to get a little better gas mileage and be more family friendly. I don't know, Connan, you want to say a little bit about the car?
Got out of service in '68 and ordered it brand new, and I don't know. I loved it for all these years. It's been in storage since the '70s, pretty much.
What did you say about the paint?
Original paint went pretty dull and flat, and GM, after discussions with them, agreed to repaint it, which the dealer did. And the repaint job went flat again, and consequently, that's what it is today.
What was the little town that you bought it from?
Minnesota, Minnesota.
Okay, that's down by Marshall.
Yeah,
Okay.
west of Marshall. They have since closed.
And Connan was smart enough to save the original invoice and window sticker and protecto plate and everything with it. It does have a CE short block in it, so the short block was replaced under warranty because of a heating issue. Connan kind of had to twist their arm to do it, but they did save the. Why don't you pop the hood, Connan? They did save and use the original heads, intake, carb, distributor. Connan was smart enough to save the smog setup. Original air cleaner lid he has in the trunk, but the base of the air cleaner's gone. But even the smog tubes and everything he saved. I guess I don't know what else to say about it other than it's very hard to find a car that someone's kept this many years. But I guess 3 words: nothing is forever, right, Connan?
Right, yeah.
So I'm glad Steve Paulus put us together here and I could make this purchase. I know it's real important, you, Connan, to know who ends up with the car.
It is.
If I don't keep it, so if I sell it, I'll make sure that we put you in contact with the buyer so he can share some of the history too. So I guess if you don't have nothing else.
I would like to see it survive and have another life. So
Yeah, be restored back to original.
really, that'd be great.
You were saying on those wheels, you probably put them on there right when it was brand new too.
I did, very shortly afterwards.
Yeah, and a couple times you had to drive it in the winter, so you put the stock steel wheels back on, and
In the wintertime, I'd switch them.
yeah. So, well, I appreciate it, Connan, and thank you very much. And we'll load this thing up and get back to Annandale.
Just a little side piece, but
Hey guys, I'm back again. Connan was telling me a little bit of information that he didn't share with me on Monday when me and Steve were here, so I'm gonna let him say about the motor, what actually happened to the short block, why it does have a new motor that was probably put in 1968 or 69?
68.
68. Okay, here you are, Connan.
Yeah, right after I bought the car, it kept overheating, And I went back to the dealer and they didn't give me much satisfaction. Eventually the car overheated enough and it burned out the rings. The rings lost their temper and started burning oil. So they decided they'd agree to overhaul the engine, which they did. I went to pick it up when it was done. On the way home, the lifter started rattling, the engine, so I shut it off, crawled underneath. There was no drain plug in the oil pan. So I drove it the rest of the way home, called them up and they said, go buy a drain plug, fill it with oil, and drive it back over here. And I decided then that I had a ruined engine and they weren't standing behind it, so I, in front of my house, started it up with no oil in it, put a stick to the throttle to the floor and started it and let it run. It run for a minute and a half or 2 minutes and it seized up. I towed it back to GM dealer where I bought it, and they called me back and said, we'll have to put a new shark block in it. So that's how that all happened. And then after they got the car done, the new engine in it, I picked it up and went to go home and it started getting hot again, and I turned around before I even got home, a couple miles out of town, went back to the dealership and told them, you know, this still ain't right. And then, long story short, we discovered that GM had a bolt-in on the cooling system. They had too small a radiator in the car. It was a 2-core radiator. So the bolt-in said put a 4-core police radiator in it and a smaller pulley on the water pump to speed up the flow of the water, which they did do then, and it's been fine ever since. So.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, and the story on the oil plug, the mechanic told me secretly, he didn't want the dealer to know, he forgot to tighten with a wrench. When he cleaned the pan, when he overhauled the engine, he thumb tightened it and forgot to put a wrench on it. He told me that. So.
Well, you can't,
anyway.
you couldn't even make up a story like this.
No, that was unbelievable.
Okay.
So.
Well, I appreciate
Been
it. Thank
good
you.
ever since.
It's been good ever since.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, thank you very much. Oh, here's Conan's last drive in the 427 SS. I should say SS 427. I better guide him on here. Okay, here we go. Oh, he killed it. A little cold-blooded, I guess. There we go.